I'm Fran Luca. On this Channel 17 report, we'll show you how a dream home in the town of Tonawanda, like so many others in our area, has become a nightmare for its unsuspecting occupants. And we'll find out what recourse has been taken to assure them a worry-free and healthy life. The villain, urea formaldehyde foam insulation. Michael and Elizabeth Smith had no inkling of a potential health hazard when they spent $1,200 to have their home insulated with foam to make it more energy efficient. 2.5 years later, after many health problems for Mrs. Smith and their 2 children, they found themselves spending another sizable amount of money to have the foam insulation removed. And how much is it going to cost to rip it out?
Between $7 and $8.
Now, coupled with the fact that you're going to have your home re-sided, what do you feel the total cost will be?
Between $10,000 and $12,000.
Are you going to get any kind of relief to help pay this? Any kind of a low-interest loan?
Well, nothing yet. The government, Mr. Swanek, is trying to get low-interest loans, but so far there is nothing that has been passed or anything like this, so we're footing the bill right now ourselves.
In the town of Lancaster, a similar scenario for Sam and Mary Marciano and their 3 young children. This is their first home, one they call their dream home after outgrowing a Clarence apartment. Their nightmare began in 1975 when urea formaldehyde foam insulation was installed.
I wouldn't want to discourage people in thinking it's going to be too high, don't look into it, because it has to come out. But each house is different. In our situation, the shingles had already been put on a second time, and they can't be reinstalled. So we're talking putting up a new final coat, and we're talking about $20,000.
That's a big hunk of money. Now, the government originally encouraged people to put foam in their home or insulation in their homes because of the energy crisis. They gave you a tax break. Is there a chance that you may be able to get some kind of a break with a low-interest loan or a tax break?
We're hoping in time that they will pass something. Right now, there's nothing. We're on our own.
Urea formaldehyde foam insulation became popular in this country at the beginning of the energy crunch in the mid-1970s. A decade later, it is banned in the United States and Canada as a potential health hazard. Formaldehyde is a toxic chemical widely used as an adhesive, pesticide, and preservative. It's found in thousands of products, ranging from toothbrushes and shampoo to permanent pressed shirts and grocery bags. Urea is a product made from carbon dioxide and ammonia. The 2 chemicals are mixed under specific temperatures and humidity to the consistency of shaving cream and sprayed into the walls of a house where it hardens until it looks like styrofoam. In addition to health problems, many homeowners were stymied as to how to have the material safely removed from their homes. Erie County legislator Charles Swanek is pressing federal officials for guidelines and standards on how to deal with this problem.
Quite frankly, the federal government, as of today, has done nothing to try to help these people in understanding the problem and to have the product removed. The Canadian government, they banned it 1.5 years ago. And at that time, they developed a procedure for removal of it. They developed guidelines for the formaldehyde test program, and they have really taken the lead.
It's ironic that we have to go to a Canadian publication to tell people what steps to take.
Well, the interesting thing is that when the federal government banned the product, the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission started sending information out to residents who contacted them about this, that they should contact the Canadian government for the literature. The Canadian government has now taken the stand that, look, we're willing to help you out for a while, but the point is it's very expensive to develop and process this magazine and also to mail it out. And if the American government isn't going to get involved in this issue and start developing its own guidelines and procedures, the Canadian government is not in the business of taking care of Americans.
It's very upsetting. It really is. It's very upsetting. We've had to move out of the home. It was a lot of work for all of us, and the children have been very upset about it. But at least we know we'll be out of there and we can live back in our own house again without feeling we're living in a contaminated environment.
This started out as a dream home, and it sort of turned into a nightmare for a while, and hopefully from here on in it will become a dream home again for you and your family.
Hopefully, once we get out of the setback from it. Yeah, I hope it will be our dream home.
It's ironic because the Smiths a few years ago spent $1,200 going along with a federal program of energizing your house so that the cost of energy is less. Now they're spending $7,000 to have it removed. The federal government gave them a tax break when they put it in, but because of health problems, the federal government's not willing to help them out on this.
What kind of advice would you have for other people who may be aware that they have foam in their home and yet are aren't facing up to it?
Well, for a long time, I kept saying to my husband, why don't you want to admit it? We might have this in our house. And I couldn't understand why he wouldn't agree with me. And then I realized that it's a very big step to admit that you have it, because what are you going to do about it? The thing is, you do have to act. You have to face up to it, and you have to get it out, because you're playing games with your health. And it is carcinogenic, and you can't watch your family die as this walks through your house. You just can't watch it happen.